Healing Steps to Wellness. I'm Dr. J.
I am May, your trusted guide to whole person health,
One step
and one bite
at a time.
at a time. Well, Gail, thank you so much. It's an honor to have you as our guest at our podcast. And I have been adoring you since a few years back, and you were teaching in energy medicine, teaching people how to adapt these self-care and healing, protect their energy was so fascinating, including your recent teaching participation at our 7th annual symposium in April.
Mhm. Yeah, and that was such a wonderful experience for me to be able to introduce so many people to the world of energy that we all possess that we're not aware of all the time. Thank you.
And since Gail, you are a well-respectable healer and also trainer in the energy medicine. You are Reiki Master. So would you please introduce yourself so help our audience, everybody get to know more about you?
Sure, sure. Well, I am a nurse practitioner. I've been a nurse for 1,000 years plus, and I began integrating energy healing into my into my medical practice um, back in 2006, and I became formally trained in 2006, and I've never stopped getting formally trained. I'm still currently in a certification program for more energy healing modalities so I can meet the needs of the community. Um, I live here in Rochester. I have a private energy healing practice at Hermitage Farm Center for Healing. And I also I'm in my energy studio in my home where I do distance energy healing work as well. And you can see my sound bowls behind me. I do work with alchemy crystal bowls and using sound healing as well to help people balance their energies.
Okay, so for our listeners who are new to this energy medicine, how would you define energy medicine?
Okay, energy medicine. So, first of all, we have to understand that we are all made up of 5 components. We have our physical body, we have our mind and our mental body, we have our emotional body, and we have our spiritual body, and then we have the energetic body that integrates through all of that. And all the energy is called subtle energy, and this is electromagnetic. And the energetic part of our body has 9 different systems, which travels through and brings in those subtle energies to nourish our physical body. An example would be meridians, and this is what acupuncturists will insert their needles into different points on the meridian pathways through the body. In my practice, I don't use needles, but I use my fingertips to stimulate those energy pathways. We have chakras that bring energy in through the body, and everything needs something to bring forward movement. Like you can't drive your car without gas or a battery. Okay, so our body doesn't function without our organs, our circulation from our heart, our nervous system, and our energetic system. So it all comes together in that subtle electromagnetic energy that fuels the whole body.
Well, I remember there was a news last week or 2 weeks ago that researcher found that there is a light layer of lights surrounding the person and that disappear when the person pass away. Would that be related to the energy that they are seeing?
Absolutely, that is energy. And what they're seeing is their aura and their spirit, their soul leaving the body at that time of transition from being alive to passing on to being a new angel. And so, yes, we do have this energetic release when we pass on. And the aura is the energetic bubble that surrounds us. A lot of people call it the space bubble, but it contains all of our energies together. So it holds us all put together, and it communicates information back and forth through all the energy systems from the environment, from the universe, and back into us. It's very big, and there's many colors in the aura, but at the time of our passing, it is white and glowing because we're returning back to spirit, and spirit is white light.
Wow, that is so fascinating. So when you talk about the energy, say sometimes that we Lotus Health Foundation and Rochester Clinic promote healthy eating. We try to eat as a, all range of the nutrient dense food. But even though we do whatever we can, sometimes we still feel like, wow, suddenly feel like just like very tired and the energy got drained. Don't know why, and just wanna kind of to escape to somewhere and to have to kind of be quiet. So is that anything to do with our body energy shift, or how you explain this?
Yeah, so there's a couple of explanations for that. One is when we step outside of our personal space, we walk into a world of stress. And that stress gets collected into our body as we walk into it. And we hold on to that because we don't know how to release it. And it overwhelms us, it fatigues us, and it blocks the energy flows. Energy has to move through the body, just like our circulation has to move. And when it gets clogged up with all the stress that's out there, the energy can't move. So we just get so fatigued and drugged down and lifeless, and feel like what's going on. I eat healthy, I walk, I exercise, but the point that's missing is the energy is not moving through the body. It's not being released, and it's not being received in the cycling that it needs to be. So we can do everything that's right for us, but if we're being affected by the stress in the world, then it bogs us down.
Mm,
Well, I
okay.
remember when we just started our clinic, we had a Chinese medicine physician who was, just like traditional Western medical school. She was trained in China in the Chinese medical school, the formal training. It's different from just the acupuncturist. And she mentioned something similar. She said a good practitioner doing the acupuncture will only use 1 or 2 needles because the practitioner will be able to know where the chi, the energy was blocked. You only need a few needles to open up the channel, the meridian, instead of just like a shotgun approach. And
Or
I,
porcupine.
Right. Right.
I know you are a Reiki Master and an Eden Energy Medicine practitioner. Can you explain what Reiki, what Eden Medicine, Energy Medicine are?
Right. So there are many different modalities of energy healing, and we put them all under the umbrella of energy medicine. Reiki is a form of energy medicine because the energy heals you. So that's why we call it medicine. Um, and Reiki is Japanese in origin. And what happens is when we train in Reiki, we become attuned to higher vibrations and frequencies of energy. And through that process, then we learn how to channel and bring that energy through from outside of us through the universe, is where that good chi comes from. Channel it through our hands and share it with the person we're working with. And then it opens up blockages of the energy, and then the body's able to use those higher frequencies of energy to balance and heal. Now, in the Eden Energy Medicine that I'm advanced practitioner in, this is more about using our our little hands, because we are electromagnetic, and these are the magnets that we possess, and we can move the energy through the body because all the energy lines, our whole body is nothing but an electromagnetic being. Every cell has an electromagnetic charge, so we can move those energy pathways and open the blockages just by using our hands. So in energy medicine with the Eden energy medicine, it's manipulating the physical body with the hands to open the blockages using all the 9 energy systems that we have.
Yeah. Some people may know that I'm actually an NIH research fellowship trained physician. And so I value research, I value science. So when we talk about energy, that's something we don't see and it's not taught in the traditional medicine. How do you bring up the scientific basis to convince people that this is really something real?
Right. Well, one thing is I don't try to convince anybody of anything. I just present the information, and then they can either research it some more on their own or not believe it. But in the research that I've done, energy healing has been documented for over 6,000 years. And energy techniques have been used on humans for over 3,000 years. And this is very well documented in the history. And so we know that energy is a frequency, and everything in existence vibrates at a specific frequency. And these frequencies have been measured electronically for hundreds of years. As soon as there was any kind of a instrument available to measure sound waves or light waves, it's been being measured. Tuning forks, drumming, drums are frequencies also, and those are ancient tools that have been used. So they've measured these electromagnetic waves. So sound, light, AC current, cell phones, radio waves, crystals, musical notes are all part of energy frequencies vibrating at different levels. So there's a lot of scientific research that has been done to document the frequencies of energy movement all around our bodies. They can put electrodes all over, like the EEGs where we measure brain waves. That is energy frequencies being measured. And so it goes on and on and on. So there's much research being done. And one of the founders in doing research for energy medicine to help doctors and medical people understand more about it is Dr. James Oshman, and his whole life has been spent in proving through electromagnetic monitoring and that these fields exist. And there have been pictures of, well, go way back to the ancients with Reiki and ancient Chinese medicine, where the healers mapped out the entire meridian system just by their feel, their touch, what they could sense with their intuition. And when we evolved enough to be able to measure those electronic movements through the body with electromagnetic monitoring, they did that, and everything was exact from the electromagnetic monitoring to what was found by the ancients from thousands of years ago. So it just reinforced even more that the energy exists there. It always has.
Okay, I'm going to say something before I let me talk. So I want to present one observation I have is we are trained and deliver the NEDI anxiety depression program that's using lifestyle medicine to improve the emotional intelligence. And Dr. Nedley, the internist who designed this program, emphasized on the importance of frontal lobe health. And he mentioned that one thing that will help your frontal lobe is classical music. especially Baroque music. And when I look at it, I was just very curious. I look at the frequency of Baroque music. Actually, well, everything just like you say is major based on which study you read. It's around 415, 417. But what is the frequency of which chakra? It's a root chakra, which is related to emotional health. So what I'm thinking is, when someone is listening to this Baroque music, it doesn't just go to the brain. It could be vibrating with your root chakra too, that improve your emotional health. And that is, I don't know whether we call it coincidence.
I would call it cohesiveness. Yes, because each of our chakras vibrates at a different frequency, and so does our brain. And our brain can vibrate up to 1200 hertz, actually, depending on where we go into our meditative state or our awareness of consciousness. So bringing the frontal lobe and the root chakra together is really important to release those emotions and to help with depression and to bring that health into that frontal lobe, which is a reason why I do sound therapy, because you can tune those chakras to balance, to open up and release that which is stuck within us, which and many years ago, the research that was done on cellular memory, that everything breaks down to an emotion. And all processes then can be released through emotional outlets. So even if we don't even have an experience that could trigger a specific emotion, our cells still break down all those processes into an emotion. So the sound waves work to help release the emotions, and it does it through the energy systems, through the chakras, through the brain itself, and puts us all back into balance.
I have to comment. Thank you, Dr. J. That is a very good question, because I'll lead to my next question is about your sound bowl. And even though when we travel to many places to attend the lifestyle medicine conference and talk about the stress management, exercise, all the 6, 7 components, eating well nutritionally, but we feel like there's just something missing. We talk about the emotion that truly is hard to measure. How you measure a person's stress level and how you measure a person's improvement of their stress level being relieved. So when we introduce have you introduced the sample healing along with another practitioner, Connie, and you both brought 11 total beautiful samples. And I remember that morning when I was in that sound bath healing process, and I couldn't explain the reason, but I know there's something just to keep coming out. The emotionally, I couldn't control myself. The tear just keep coming out from my eyes, and it was a great experience and very emotionally touched experience. And I feel so much grateful for you both be able to present such beautiful music at Mayo Civic Center. Unbelievable.
Yeah, yeah. And that is the beauty of the sound baths. As you said, we bathe you in the sound, and the sound goes, the frequency and the tone of the sound, the crystal bowl, goes into our body, into our chakras, into all of our energy systems, into our cells, all the way down into our DNA, as a matter of fact, and it vibrates loose that what needs to be released. And we don't even need to know what it is. We just need to allow the experience, and our bodies will just release what needs to go. That excess stress that we are holding on to. Even if it's a good stress, it's still stress and it's locking us up. So yes, we release through the tears. We release through, sighing and feeling that letdown. And oh my gosh, all of a sudden I feel very tired because I'm relaxed for a change and I don't even know what that feels like anymore, right? So this comes as how you heal through the sound bath. And when we use the different frequencies with the different bowls for specific chakras, it cleans them out and it releases and it comes out as those emotions.
So beautiful.
So that leads to the next question. What other modalities can we use? Is it, I would say, to increase our energy? And is there any way we can harvest our energy like that?
Yes, I love that word. How can we harvest our energy? We have it, but it gets hidden because of, again, I can't say enough about stress is what kills us all. It's the root of all disease. And so it's the awareness that there are options for you. Number one, you got to know that there are options. And to be able to harvest your own energy, you need to be aware of them and what's there for you. So I recommend everybody to have an energy balancing session so you can open up the blockages and then you're going to feel how that energy flows through you and you don't have to go out and actually harvest it like you would a piece of corn. It will naturally flow when it can enter into the crown chakra finally. It's going to just drift right on in. So experiencing a clearing allows you to know that, wow, this is good. Now, what more can I do? I'm going to learn more about the energy modalities that are out there for healing, because there are many, many, many. I'm going to research that. I'm going to ask my questions. I'm going to attend a class. I'm going to come to Hermitage Farm in Rochester and take classes and learn more about how can I open myself up to the greater energy flow, the greater consciousness of who we are, and start to really feel that flow come through. There are simple exercises I'll share with you before we leave that will get your energies flowing. Just it's quick and easy. It's not rocket science, I'll show you now. You can just start thumping here on your chest, right under your collarbone. And this brings up the energy from the bottom of your feet, from the earth, all the way up through your whole entire body to every organ. This is the kidney meridian you're tapping. And then you can hit your thymus gland and wake up that, because there's a huge amount of energy that's used in the thymus area and the immune system and the heart. You can tap right underneath your cheekbones. This is the beginning of the stomach meridian. And this brings the energy from the earth all the way up through the body again. So you are vitalizing your whole body by these thumps. And there's another one. I can just move this right at the bottom of your rib cage. You can thump down here. And this is the end of the spleen meridian. And the spleen meridian travels the entire body from the big toe all the way up and down to the bottom of the ribs. And it is the immune system. And you boost your immune system, and all of a sudden, you know what? I'm not tired anymore. I don't need that cup of caffeine to give me a boost. I just boosted myself by thumping in 4 places on my body. I empowered myself to harvest my own energies. Jane.
Okay. So Jen, Dr. J, hold on. Okay, this is something actually. I also watch Eden energy medicine. There's some demonstration. Somehow I don't know what I heard from you or from her teaching, and talking about in nature. What kind of animal? It's like gorilla when they go out and they are doing that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Monkeys,
Yeah.
gorillas, all the primates do this because
Right.
that gives them power.
Power.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
You see,
I
we
mean,
have to learn from nature because
mhm,
they know what to do.
yeah.
I will keep my coffee as an alternative.
Okay, well, Gail, with all this knowledge that you have, and I see how this is a great complement to the modern medicine, because in modern medicine, we talk about the test, we're talking about the procedure, the protocol, but a lot of time, patient just, the doctor say, I cannot see anything wrong with you. And the patient will feel like, but is there still something wrong with myself? So when you were practicing as a nurse or nurse practitioner, I know that you have been invited by your colleague to offer Reiki energy medicine to some cancer patients or the patient really very ill. How do you incorporate that?
Right. So, medicine and don't get me wrong, we need medicine, but we need energy also. And they need to come together in an integrative, complementary way. And so we can only test so much and tests only see the physical body. And it does not include the energetic part, which we don't see because it's subtle energy. Now, a lot of people do see. I see energy movement. I feel the energy movement, but medicine doesn't recognize that because it's a little more difficult to put it in a box to do all the double blind tests on, right? So when someone says, I've had all these tests done. I know there's still something wrong with me. I start evaluating all of their energy systems and doing a check there, and I'm finding blockages, 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 blockages. And within minutes, I can open those blockages up and they start to have that energy flowing through. And they're like, my gosh, I don't have pain in my side anymore. My back doesn't hurt anymore. I don't feel like I want to rip my hair out anymore. My gut stopped hurting and like over over 50% of hospital admissions for abdominal pain, they just blow it off as a psychological issue, right? Well, it's not, it's energetic that's blocked and it drives us crazy. So we think we're going nuts. So opening up those energy flows, restoring the harmony back to the gut, activating the vagus nerve, which I'll show you right now, middle finger right behind the earlobe, push in against your skull and just hold your head. You're activating your vagus nerve, which is the antidote to stress of the sympathetic nervous system. And this goes to every single organ in your body. So it helps to heal all those organs. So opening all that up, we now have a reason for the pain, for the symptoms that people are experiencing that medical tests don't pick up on. And we need to start having more and more energy evaluations coincide with medical evaluations because you can join forces and give a complete holistic evaluation to someone.
Well, that's a good suggestion. How we design a form to evaluate, to assess energy. Because one aspect is we also talk about the different culture is that ethnic group. And when you mentioned that Reiki originated from Japan. And how about to other cultures? For example, when we talk about energy, one location pop into my mind will be Sedona, Arizona, which is right outside the Navajo Nation. And May and I just interviewed the former president of the Navajo Nation, President Ness, last week, a couple of weeks ago. So is there a correlation or any shared roots in other cultures?
Absolutely. Indigenous cultures have shamanism as their method of healing, and it's Again, it's another form of energy healing. It has a more spiritual root to it, that affects our physical, our psychic, and our energetic bodies. And I practice with shamanic healing. I've been trained for many years in healing through shamanism, and it's very profound in how we can help people heal. And we as an energy healer, we present the energy to the body, allow it to flow through, and then the body heals itself, which is just our bodies want to heal. They have to be given that opportunity. So we need to embrace all. I use sometimes 4 different modalities on one healing session, depending on what that individual needs.
And that
Well,
brings up, sorry, May.
go ahead.
The modality that will increase your energy. And one thing I'm curious is, no, we have been talking about food as medicine. We encourage people, look at the food as a first line of your medicine. Would any food that would change your energy level or increase your energy level?
Oh my gosh, yes. Just exactly what you are supporting, plant-based food increases your energy compared to high saturated fats and meat and junk food and all that other stuff. That lowers your energy right away. Beef, that's why I quit eating meat, was because I could feel my energy so low from eating meat that I couldn't get my energy levels high enough to work with my healing practice properly. So that's why I quit eating meat. And so plant-based really raises your energy level, amazingly.
Wow. How many years you have been stopping eating meat?
Um, I think it was 2016 when I finally was able to stop it completely.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. So you can feel your energy level being suppressed or level being elevated.
Yes, and I'll say this, that now my reason for not eating meat is because of the energy level. I don't have an ethical reason to not eat it. But so if I'm at someone's home and they present me with chicken for dinner, well, I'm not going to, and there's nothing else for me to eat, I will eat some chicken. But you know what happens? I feel my energy go that.
Interesting.
Yes, but by the time I'm done eating it, my energy's low and I'm like, oh my gosh, I wish I would have just drank water. And so it takes me like 2 days to get out of that low vibration from the meat. And, having the plants, the vegetables coming back in to take over. So I feel it instantly.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Very profound.
plants and veggies, boy, Mother Nature gave it to us for a reason. It heals us. There's great medicine, and I am an herbalist as well. I grow all my own herbs and I use it for medicine, and it makes such a difference. Your culinary herbs, it's all medicine.
That's
So
what I was going to ask, whether there's any specific food that will increase your level, besides the magic mushroom.
Very much. We well, Gail, what is your answer?
Well, I drink a lot of fresh herbal teas. Holy basil is amazing for boosting your energy and raising. Again, I'm going back to frequency. Energetic frequency raises with the right kinds of herbs. So holy basil has a very high vibration. So you're going to vibrate it and have a higher energy when you drink high holy basil tea. And there's no caffeine in it. They add it in some of the preparations, but when you pick it off of your plant, it's pure and you have high vibration. You also, even though chamomile is a calming tea, it still raises your vibration because it works with the immune system as well. Calendula is another herb that raises your vibration. And basil, any kind of basil, will raise your vibration as well. I use just regular sweet basil in teas, and that it raises it up.
Oh,
Hey,
okay.
Gail, can you
Hold
do me a favor?
We need a recipe.
No, not a recipe. I just kill our holy basil
I
plant.
know, we kill it.
Oh no!
We
I'll-
actually we actually got one from a trip that when we observed it at the Hindu temple in Minneapolis. And that was so beautiful during their I think annual celebration. And we were so happy, but it didn't survive within 2 weeks. So
Yeah, you know, I've had 4 or 5 of my holy basil plants die this year. It's been a hard year for them. I have about 5 that are still doing very well. So as they are ready to be harvested, I will give you some.
Thank you.
well, wow. Gail, I think we need to have another session to talk about even food as a medicine, as an energy medicine. That is so fascinating. But yeah, go ahead.
Well, we're going to have a special event at Hermitage Farm in August where the people who are attending are going to experience 6 different healing modalities. They'll learn
Okay.
about them and experience it. But the reason I'm bringing this up now is we are going to have a chakra smoothie bar and create chakra smoothies for each of the chakras so that they can feel the healing effects for their chakras through their smoothies.
Interesting. When is that?
That is in August. I want to say like maybe the 26th. I don't have my calendar in front of me, but it's on the Hermitage Farm Center for Healing calendar already. So, and we've got people already signed up for it.
Wow. Can you send us a link so we make sure that we insert that link on this page so people get to
Yeah,
find it?
absolutely. Yes. Yeah.
The time flies very fast. We even haven't covered the rest of the questions. So we have a lot of questions. But one thing, like you touch about the practice of your energy medicine where you are working at a hospital. Would you be able to give us one example to share that you witnessed a health transformation from a patient? So yeah, share a story.
Yes, and I could write a whole book on this. There are so many, but one that was so profound. There was a patient who had terrible chronic migraine headaches, and she
Mm-hmm.
always had to come into the emergency room and get the IV Dilaudid or something to
Okay.
get rid of the headache. And she got so sick with this one time and was admitted to the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And during the night, she had received her doses. And when I came on to do rounds in the morning, the nurse was just about ready to give her a bolus of Dilaudid pain medicine for this massive headache. And I said, stop for a moment. And I asked the lady, I said, would you like to try some energy healing for your headache and see if we can't get rid of this instead of using the drug? Because she
Mm-hmm.
didn't want to use the drug.
Mm-hmm.
So she said yes. So what I did was very simple. I held one hand to the front of her head and one hand to the back of her head. And I held it. I asked her what her pain level was, and she said 15 out of 10.
Wow.
It was bad. And I held her head for about 10 minutes altogether. And I said, now, when that pain starts to drop, you just let me know. And so it went from 15 to like 12. Then she got to 10. She got down to 7. And then by the time I was done holding this up, I think it was like at 8 minutes, her headache was down to a 2. And so I just held on until the headache was completely gone. So within 10 minutes, this woman who had required narcotics to get rid of headaches, her headache was gone in 10 minutes.
Wow.
I should hold this at
And
home.
yeah, and this does like, this will do many, many, many things for,
Amazing.
and I taught her how to do it herself. And she was never readmitted for a headache after that, because I monitored it and watched her and made sure that it wasn't, she wasn't coming in the hospital for headaches anymore. And she never did.
So
Mm.
when you were holding this position for that patient, did you do anything yourself? Like, did you send in any energy, or did you send in any blessing, or did you
No.
do anything? No?
I was conversing with her to just ask her how she's feeling. No, this is about stimulating the neurovascular points on the head, in the front and in the back, which goes to the frontal brain, and it restores the circulation. Physiologically, this is what happens. The circulation is restored to the frontal brain. It takes it out of the hindbrain where the stress is, and the nervous system, the circulatory system brings back balance to the brain, and it stops all of that spazzing and the constriction, and the blood flow comes back to a natural state and balance takes place. It's a physiological thing.
I actually read an article talking about migraine related to the Venus return.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And this helps with migraines. It helps with all forms of headache.
Mm-hmm. Should we safely say that actually, if anyone, especially audience, when listening to this podcast interview, that need to be aware of that if there's any underlying issue, they shouldn't overlook and still work with their physician. But if they are, they have a chronic headache, or sometimes we're just so tired, or just it will trigger the headache. At least there's some modality that we can help to alleviate some headache. And if that can subside the headache to be more tolerable, but in the meanwhile, still pursue the medical care to check into the root cause. That is a great combination of both type of the medicine for self-care.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You have to rule out that there's anything in the head
Mm-hmm.
causing a tumor, or
Mm-hmm.
fluid shifts, or a bleed, or any of those things. That has to be ruled out, which all of this was on this patient I was taking care of.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is like everyday tension headaches, stress, chronic headaches,
Mm-hmm.
cluster headaches, migraine headaches, those things that are known.
Mm-hmm.
Not the worst headache in the world that you ever had. That's an emergency. You need to be in the emergency room for that, and then rule out those bad things. But this is, and this also stops you from being so fearful.
Mm-hmm.
It releases the fear from the body. It just dissolves out when the brain, the frontal brain, gets its energy back through the nervous system, the vascular bed. Yeah.
Wow, time really flies, Gail.
I wish we can have another hour. It's
Yeah,
so
love to
much
have.
fun.
What can the listeners learn more energy medicine? And if they want to learn from you, they are in contact with you, is there any way they can contact you?
Absolutely. You can go to my website, which is drgailv.com, www. And on my website, I have all kinds of healing tools available. They're all on my YouTube channel there. And I have resources and educational things for everybody. They're all free. You can text me or send me a message. I will answer your questions. I'll get you hooked up with a class somewhere. I'll invite you to the classes we're having at Hermitage Farm. Center for Healing here in Rochester. I'll, give whatever references I can to help you get started in this.
Wonderful, wonderful. I feel such a joy after this session. I already feel happy. And I believe in medicine. Beside the medication, beside the treatment plan, the patient also play a big role in the healing process. And when we all have a confidence, when we all feel ease, I think our body will heal faster in that matter. Right.
Exactly. And we, as the consumer of healthcare, regardless of what type it is, what we're consuming, we have a responsibility to ourselves.
Mhm.
And we can't rely on someone to do it for us, which is
Mhm.
beautiful thing about energy work is I'll get the big stuff out of the way. And then I'm going to empower you to take care of yourself. And I'm going to give you 100 different tools to use on your own body to keep that energy shifting and moving and flowing so you stay healthy.
But
What a yeah.
it has been such a pleasure having you
Mhm.
here, Gail. Yeah.
What a great message. What a great closing that you give us. And please make sure that you promise us to come back another time
I'll
to
come
continue our
anytime.
conversation.
Anytime. I love to
Oh,
share. Yes.
what a joyful session with you. And you are just right in Rochester, so a great news for Rochester people as well. Yeah.
Thank you so
Okay.
much for having me.
Yeah.
Have a blessed day.
Okay, so Dr. J.
Thanks for joining us on Healthy Step to Wellness. I'm Dr. J.
And I am May, guiding you toward whole person health.
One step.
And one bite at a time.
See you
See you next time.